Happy Valentine's Day, or Happy Galentine's Day. I just came back from work about 10 minutes ago, and I thought about talk about something different, and I don't think I've done this on my most recent lives. I think I did talk about this book as a separate, like a book review, but it was a while ago. And since some of us are single, even if you're not, it's fine. It's like a self-care thing, I guess. So I love this book. It's not a fiction book. No, it's not a fiction book. The book's called Women Who Run with Wolves. Contacting the power of the wild woman. If you're a woman or a man, have you ever felt that there is this and I'm not talking about like the soul. Have you ever felt like you wanted to turn into a werewolf and just run into the woods and live there? Or have you ever had moments when you wanted to, or felt like you had this raw energy and you felt like a wild wolf was inside you and you wanted to just run in the snow and be free and embrace the wilderness? It's weird. It's hard to explain, but yes, I've had that feeling many times. And this might be a bit weird, but every time I read this book, I feel like I'm just doing coffee. Is that, I don't know, is it trying to tell me that I need to ground myself, maybe? Maybe that's what coffee does, because it's so earthy. Anyway, this book is by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. Alright, this is what it looks like. It's a thick book, and I love a good thick book. I'm gonna read the slurb of the back. Okay, here it says, Women Who Run with Wolves is a seminal work on the inner life of women, a creation of poetry and power. It began a revolution and continues to transform the lives of millions around the world. Clarissa Pinkola Estes reveals how within every woman there lies a wild woman, filled with passionate creativity and ageless knowing, but repressed for centuries by a value system that trivializes emotional truth, intuitive wisdom, and instinctual self-confidence. Dr. Estes's enriching bestseller shows through the interpretation of story and her psychological commentary, we can reclaim and rejoice in our true feminine power. How we could awaken within the depths of our souls one who is both magic and medicine. Alright. There were some reviews, but I like this one. By Alice Walker, who said, a gift of profound wisdom, insight, and love, an oracle from one who knows. Hello, Boxscarf 102. Happy Valentine's Day if you enjoy this holiday. And if not, I'm doing a book review called Women Who Run with Wolves. So I'm going to read bits of it and go over what it's about. Yeah, it is. It's okay. Okay, I'll read the foreword. It says, "We are all filled with a longing for the wild. There are few culturally sanctioned antidotes for this yearning. We are taught to feel shame for such a desire. We grew our hair long." It does make me feel wild, and I've got really long hair at the moment. Where did I? We grew our hair long and used it to hide our feelings. Not always. Okay. But the shadow of wild women still lags behind us during our days and in our nights. No matter where we are, the shadow that trots behind us is definitely four-footed. Yes, it definitely feels like that, and that's why Clara Sapp and Carla Estes, the lady who wrote this book. And I guess she wrote it, or maybe she's from Cheyenne, Wyoming. I'd love to visit these places where it feels wild, one of those colder states. It's sunny. Sunny? No, maybe it is sunny, but maybe it's snowy, and it just feels wild and so good. Okay, I'm just gonna read a bit from the introduction. I really love the introduction. This book really goes over some of the stories or fables, like, let me give you an example. You have to go, okay, that's okay. We'll catch up with you later. Have a good rest of your day. For example, like Blackbeard. So she talks over the story of Blackbeard. She talks over about the let's see what else. There's a story about a skeleton woman. That's a really good story. She takes about and talks about it. I'm just gonna quickly go into the intro. So Clarissa is a psychoanalyst, but she also says that she's a Jungian psychoanalyst, a poet, a cantadora, a keeper of the old stories. Yeah. I read a bit at the beginning, at the introduction, singing over the bones. Wildlife and the wild women are both endangered species. Over time, we have seen the feminine, instinctive nature looted, driven back, and overbuilt. For long periods, it has been mismanaged, like the wildlife and the wildlands. For several thousand years, as soon and as often as we turn our backs, it is relegated to the poorest land in the psyche. The spiritual lands of wild women have throughout history been plundered or burnt, dens bulldozed, and natural cycles forced into unnatural rhythms to please others. Right, I'm going to find another. So she says here the title of the book, Women Who Run with the Wolves, Myths and Stories of the Wild Woman Archetype, came from my study of wildlife biology, wolves in particular. The studies of the wolves, Canis lupus and Canis rufus, are like the history of women regarding both their spiritedness and their travails. Healthy wolves and healthy women share certain psychic characteristics: keen sensing, playful spirit, and the heightened capacity for devotion. Wolves and women are relational by nature, requiring possessed of great endurance and strength. They are deeply intuitive, intensely concerned with their young, their mates, and their pack. They are experienced in adapting to constantly changing circumstances. They are fiercely stalwart and very brave. Yet both have been hounded, harassed, and falsely imputed to be devouring and devious, overly aggressive, of less value than those who are their detractors. They have been the targets of those who would clean up the wilds, as well as the wildish environs of the psyche, exiting the instinctual and leaving no trace of it behind. The predation of wolves and women by those who misunderstand them is strikingly similar. I love this book so much. So good. I'm going to read this part of the introduction. Let's see what it says. Maybe a couple more paragraphs. Dancing was barely tolerated, if at all. If so, they danced in the forest where no one could see them, or in the basement, or on the way out to empty the trash. Self-decoration caused suspicion, joyful body or dress increased the danger of being harmed or sexually assaulted. The very clothes of one's shoulders could not be called one's own. It was a time when parents who abused their children were simply called strict. I know what she means by that. When the spiritual lacerations of profoundly exploited women were referred to as nervous breakdowns. When girls and women who were tightly girdled and tightly reined and tightly muzzled were called nice, and those other females who managed to slip the collar for a moment or two of life were branded bad. I love this book so much. There's so many good things about this book. Yes, I should go over different stories from different parts of the world, and she breaks it down and she goes over them about what they actually mean. And it doesn't matter how old the stories are, the way she talks about them, the way she breaks them down, she makes them really relatable, I guess. I have this part of the book here earmarked, and I'm just going to go over it. She talks over 4 stages of forgiveness. 1, to forego, to leave it alone. 2, to forbear, to abstain from punishing. 3, to forget. To aver, I'm not sure how to say that word. From memory, to refuse to dwell. 4, to forgive, to abandon the debt. And then she goes over each one. She breaks it down what it actually means. going to go through the book, see if there's anything else that I want to read. I'll just read a bit more about this story. I'm not sure exactly what to call it, but it's called The Woman with Hair of Gold. There was a very strange but beautiful woman with long golden hair as fine as spun gold. She was poor and without mother or father, and lived in the woods alone, and wove upon a loom made of black walnut boughs. A brute who was the son of the local coal burner, tried to force her into marriage, and into an effort to buy him off, she gave him some of her golden hair. I know what she means by being forced into marriage, because I've been through that. Hello, Dale. I'm reading this book, Women Who Run with Wolves. Such a good book. So it's by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. She's a psychoanalyst. She goes over fables and different stories, and she talks about what they actually mean. So I'm just going over the story now. But he did not know or care that it was spiritual, not monetary gold that she gave him. So when he sought to trade her hair for merchandise in the marketplace, people jeered at him and thought him mad. And enraged, he returned by night to the women's cottage, with his own hands murdered her and buried her body by the river. For a long hearth or health, but in her grave the woman's golden hair grew and grew. The beautiful hair curled and spiraled upward through the black soil, and it grew looping and twirling more and more up and up into the grave, until the grave was covered by a field of swaying golden reeds. Shepherds cut the curly reeds to make flutes, or when they played them, the tiny flutes sang and would not stop singing. Here lies the woman with golden hair, murdered and in her grave, killed by the son of the coal burner, because she wished to live. I think that's beautiful. And that is how the man who took the life of the woman with golden hair was discovered and brought to justice. To those who lived in the wild woods of the world, like we ourselves do, was safe again once more. So beautiful. Right, I'm gonna have some hot sauce. This is called hot jang. It's a Korean hot sauce. I'm gonna take a shot of this hot sauce before I end today's Valentine's Day live. And I hope Dale or anyone here, just go back and you can rewatch this live whenever you want. Oh, so good. It smells of cheese and garlic. It says here it's a hot jang Korean style chili sauce, extra spicy. Apparently. Right, let's go for it. So good. It's a slow rising heat. It's not too hot, it's not overwhelming. I think it goes with a lot of things. Thank you for being with me during this Valentine's Day live. I hope what I read you wasn't too depressing. Hope you have a great rest of your Dale, and Boxcar 402. I'll catch up with everyone later, and I'm sure I'm going to go live again this weekend. Have a great day, everyone. I'll catch you in the different lives today.